Hello everybody, welcome to Module 6. Hard to believe we are making our way through the semester at this rate, but we are entering kind of like the downhill slope to spring break. So I'm going to go over some assignments and some ongoing things that you should be attending to as we move towards spring break. So this week you'll see we'll be looking at folk literature, folk tales, myths, legends, fables, and fairy tales. And so on. So make sure you click on the module tasks. I am getting a lot of emails of people who are not reading. It's very clear that people are not reading these module task sheets every week, or you're not listening to the video. And again, I'm going to keep encouraging you all to keep clicking everything in every module and listening to the videos on YouTube. I try to make them as succinct as possible. They're ripe with information related to the assignments, and you will miss things if you don't listen to the videos. So click on the module tasks. You'll see each week, expectedly, 4 to 8 books. And remember, each module assignment, usually you can draw on picture books to complete these 4 to 8 books weekly assignment. I'd like you to read Chapter 10 in Children's Literature briefly. I also want to make sure you're reading the correct edition of the textbook. Chapter 10 should be going over folk literature, and nothing else. So if that's not Chapter 10 for you, you have the wrong edition, and it should be the 7th edition, which is the blue textbook. The green textbook is an older edition, and the chapters do not match the newest edition. So please make sure you have the 7th edition, which is a blue cover. So you'll read Chapter 10, complete the activity for analysis. There's another Padlet and discussion board activity, and then keep working on Song for a Whale. So, going over Chapter 10, so once you go on, you'll read, again, Chapter 10 of Children's Literature briefly, and you're going to read 4 picture book variations of a folktale. I also want to emphasize, I've had to speak with some of you about not reading children's books for the class. This class is about children's literature, so anything you read should be children's books. Not meant for 20-something, 30-something-year-old folks, but for children. So make sure when you do this assignment, it should be 4 picture book variations of a folktale. So for example, 4 variations of Jack and the Beanstalk, 4 variations of Cinderella, so on and so forth. You will find a lot in the LRC or on Mackinvia or on YouTube. Once you read all 4 variations, you're going to compare and contrast the variations, whether it's and it should reflect the takeaways from Chapter 10. So elements found in these 4 variations, or themes, or anything that you have uncovered while you read Chapter 10 of your textbook. It should be very obvious that you read the textbook and you're applying it to your 4 picture books. You can make any kind of graphic organizer. It could be a T-chart, it could be a Venn diagram, a table that you create. Download a graphic organizer from a reliable source, and you will submit the graphic organizer comparing and contrasting the 4 variations here. Please make sure to include the titles of each picture book that you read, and your graphic organizer with your comparisons and contrasting should be detailed enough that I can tell that you are understanding the takeaways from the textbook and the picture books. So that's for Chapter 10, Folk Literature Analysis, and then you'll be doing a Padlet text exploration. The link is right here. It's for Module 6. You will scan through these picture books and other text listed on the Module 6 text Padlet, and you will click on this and you will answer the discussions listed here. Very similar to Module 2's Padlet text exploration, so you'll write some things about the theme or the topic, the types of texts, the features of each book, and then why am I having you examine a collection of texts and filling out the discussion board. Please keep in mind this is a really important place to use your own ideas and not copy and paste descriptions from Amazon or YouTube or Goodreads or ChatGPT. This should be your own ideas, your own takeaways from this exploration. So that's really it for just Module 6 assignments. It's the Folk Literature Analysis and the Padlet Text Exploration discussion board. But I also want to go over kind of ongoing things that we're talking about, including your AIP assignment and your service learning. So remember a couple of modules ago, I had you list 3 to 4 authors, illustrators, or poets next to your name. I highlighted the name next to your list, so mostly everyone should have someone to complete now for their assignment. And you go back to Blackboard under Major Products and Final Assessments. It's an infographic assignment. There's the assignment sheet. You'll see all the directions. You're creating an infographic based on the life and the body of work for that author, illustrator, or poet. And everything is listed here. You will submit an infographic and a Flipgrid discussion of that as well. So you'll see you submit here and the Flipgrid as well. So make sure you consult this Google document and the assignment sheet moving forward. And the last thing I'm talking about is the service learning. So I emailed everybody about service learning and shared a Google document with you related to service learning. So you'll see here, there is the document for who your group is and what teacher you're with and their contact information as well. And I also have uploaded a documentation sheet. I would download this and start recording all of your activities related to your service learning activities to accrue those 15 hours. So the date, the time, and the activity. And then ultimately you have to have the teacher sign it and date it for submitting it. This is due at the end of the semester. And I want to remind you that you have a course calendar that outlines a lot of these deadlines. So if you go to the end of the semester, you'll see that last week is a lot of things are due, but your service learning is due May 7th. So again, consult this list. Make sure you're talking to your classmates, your other group mates about what's going on. And I'm going to show you, this is Mrs. Weger service learning, and I want to show you that there's Chelsea, Mally, Michaela, Rebecca, and Jenna. And all the directions are listed on this document, things to consider, and then the teacher should be listing topics that you sign up for. And look, we already have Chelsea, Michaela, and Mally signing up for their 4 topics, and they're going to start creating a text list and instructional activities for each one. So if I'm Chelsea, I'll be doing it over fossils, volcanoes, earthquakes, and natural disasters. So I'm creating a whole text list around each of those topics with accompanying instructional activities, which are listed right here. Those will be shared with your teacher virtually. So that's it for service learning. So make sure you have this document, whatever your version is. This is the Mrs. Wecker group, but there are other groups. So if you're Mrs. Collier, Miss Gouillet, Miss Grigsby, Miss Crabtree, or Miss Walker, make sure you have the right Google document and that you've signed up for those topics once the teacher has listed those assignments. So that's really it. Moving forward is just we're on track with our calendar. So folk literature, text exploration, and service learning and AIP stuff. And for my Easter egg, for those of you who are listening to the video, if you listen to this entire video and made it this far, I want you to email me with your favorite season and why is it your favorite season. I'll give you extra credit if you email me that. And please do not share it with your classmates. I'd like them to listen to the entire video. So, yes, any questions, just let me know. I'm currently in Denver for a conference. I'm learning some really interesting things actually about AI and ChatGPT and some other things, so maybe some things to explore together later this semester. Take care, have a great weekend, and talk to you all soon.